So I have the group that you sent, that you started on Friday.
Yes. So
Yes.
That'd be amazing.
that, I should be able to put those
There you go,
things in
guys. There's
there.
another bag for you.
There's a workspace there.
Okay.
But she should be, you're on Teams, right?
Wow.
You got that document?
She had to send me the files as attachments. I'm not on Teams because I don't have the most updated blah, 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 the same thing. So, it's okay, we'll get all that data. What I did is I peeled off of that data, all the compost stuff is
Oh,
here.
this. Added to as a guest to
That's
town
how
of
you live.
Groveland, Mass.
Oh, you found it?
We're on for it.
Then
But I don't-
probably
Okay, but
you see it.
everything that you need is like right here. This is from the whole compost file.
Okay.
The only thing I didn't make a big copy of is this document because it's kind of voluminous, and these. And then the other document that I took that's not a compost document, the second document that I said we talk about first briefly,
Perfect.
is best practices.
Okay.
So everybody has a best practices.
Yep.
And that's in the
Good.
not teams.
It is.
It is in
It is
Teams,
in
yeah,
Teams.
yeah, I've been kind of flying
Just-
through
you know
that
what I would
stuff
do, just talk to Rebecca
and
when
just
she
trying to
comes in.
I
find,
think I found it.
I'm just trying to find things
You're a
that are,
genius now.
there's a lot
Smart.
of data there, so
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to get buried alive, even with like the tonnage stuff, it's overwhelming at times. But, my thought was to pick a few things every meeting and go from there. So, the minutes I sent everybody, so you can have a week to, or have this month to review them. If you think anything's not okay, let me know, but otherwise we'll accept them at the next meeting. Because that's our typical thing, provide the minutes, and then you have time to look them over, and then the next meeting we'll vote to adopt them. Okay. And Rebecca did the last minute, so,
Before I forget, Kelly, excuse me,
yeah.
are we having any hazardous chemicals, paints, or anything? Do we have those days anymore in the town?
We don't have them set aside, no, we did,
'Cause that's
Dan
something that
helped us
concerns me.
by coordinating us with Newburyport. And
Alright.
hazardous waste, yeah,
I have the,
yeah,
'Cause I would like to be able to do that, again,
right.
for my own home.
You're good.
I mean, talking
Okay,
about.
so we can put that on the next agenda to see if we can get, I wouldn't go into it right now, so to stay on agenda. So you want hazardous waste days, we can look into that for the next agenda.
I missed that.
We don't do them, we're going through Newburyport.
we did it at Newburyport, but you can do it at various towns.
When they have a day, they'll
Yeah, and it's
have
on the
non-resident count.
Right, because
Alright.
we're part of that.
Right. But that might be good information for this committee to assemble and
Absolutely.
put together. So the next meeting, let's look to see if we
It's
can
West Newbury, right?
get something
West
West
assembled.
Newbury and Newbury.
So, this rather long best practices document, take time and go through it. But the thing that I found most interesting was the difference kind of between going out to bid and going out for a proposal. And there's a lot of fancy words here, decoupled versus bundled procurements, and our town administrator is an expert in procurement. So everything we need or want to know about the process, she'll be able to steer and inform us. But it did seem to me that going out for a proposal would be more beneficial than going out to bid. When, if I'm understanding correctly, going out to proposal allows us more leeway in the selection. We don't just have to take the lowest price. But we have to be specific about the criteria that we're looking for.
So that sounds like that's what we gotta assemble that.
Where you're right, you hit the nail right on the head, yes. That would be something we would give
Work, so
input,
that's our goal.
give input to Rebecca, and she puts it into the fancy language. Does that sound like the way it would work? Criteria, like we reflect what the town would want, criteria-wise for services, and then the proposal has to be specific.
Yes.
Okay. And do we know if we can get a sample proposal from another town that didn't do bid, they did proposal?
So if you look at the file I gave you
Yes, there was
online,
the-
There
there's
was a bunch of them.
examples.
Okay, so I'll get that done. Okay, so we need to get the sample proposals.
It's under
So
the
you gave us a
disposal
wealth of
contract.
data, I'm still going through
The disposal contract folder.
Yes.
There's a whole bunch of them, Kathy.
it. Yes,
Yes.
okay, wow.
For your
so-
reading pleasure.
Would
I
you
don't
send
wanna
them,
read
would you
all
send
of-
those today?
No,
They've been
Rebecca's,
updated on that,
She
the
keeps-
drive, like I mentioned.
she keeps,
So I've been
blowing us
updating
up.
it and throwing more information, so every single time it will repopulate with all of the added documents.
Have to show me how to get them.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't access Teams either.
we're all in the same boat.
Even with your,
It says, Rebecca added you, well, you added me, but I can't. I tried to access it and it says something about, needing,
That's what I got. You fixed that for me.
ask your admin to enable Microsoft Teams or something for town Groveland.
I'll take a closer
And
look.
then you gave me that other thing that I just clicked on and I got it.
Like an app?
Remember that?
I'll take a look and send another folder, and you'll just add it to OneDrive and
This
share
is,
it there.
this is what you don't need is all of us going, we can't get there.
I'm so sorry.
No
But
worries.
anyway, so the invitation for bids versus request for proposal is on this page, one, two, three, page 3. I think that's like, kind of an invocation, for bids, awards, a contract to the lowest priced qualified bidder. This is appropriate when the municipality needs are clear, services can be specifically defined, bidders are qualified, and the price is the only determining factor. Contracting for equipment, goods, and supplies can be accomplished with this. However, this IFB is not generally recommended for recycling, because it's difficult to fully define mandatory minimum qualifications, service requirements, and performance standards necessary to meet community expectations. So an RFP, the request for a proposal, allows the municipality to evaluate and rank vendors based on the best overall value, which combines qualifications, technical approach, and cost. So that's what we would be coming up with, is ranking, a list of what we want to rank them on.
Okay.
You know, and I kind of lean towards separating the two contracts. Just because I think when you put them both together, you don't know what you're getting for recycling.
Recycling versus the trash.
You have two contracts, yeah. So, because I think that you'd want to set, in the request for proposal, you'd want different rankings perhaps for recycling than for trash.
Why? If they're really good at trash collection, and we want the same thing
Because
for
different,
recycling.
well, because we're looking at, Rebecca's been really studying our current contract, and there's some hidden costs that we weren't aware of.
Why isn't that nice?
I know, processing costs for recycling. You know, so they can, what, the cost of separating it or whatever, they're sticking it to us, and it's just,
Separating and storing.
yeah, so if we deal with somebody who's just coming in for recycling, I would envision that there wouldn't be this ginormous processing fee. Because they're trying to get their foot in the door on recycling.
And not so much hidden costs, because some of those costs would in fact be in place, but the way that those costs accumulate over a period of time, I think is another area of focus. So if they have a processing fee, how that processing fee is increasing each fiscal year, and what are the driving factors of that? Is it based upon fuel costs? Is it based upon, what are they tying that figure to? And I think that's kind of
Yeah.
the discrepancy I'm finding with some of the increases, is what they're tying those
I
increases
think it
to.
should all be determined by weight.
The recycling is,
Weight, recycling is probably more
it's
volume.
very complicated. I mean,
Yeah.
we've never had
I never
somebody
really thought about it like
in-house
that.
until Rebecca that could really
Yeah.
get into it, and she's looking at all of the commodity pricing on it and putting, you know, kind of getting a,
One of the biggest
understanding.
unhidden things that I'm hearing about recycling now is refusal rates. So everybody
Yeah.
thinks everything's recyclable, right? So
Yeah.
you put straws, you put everything that's plastic
yeah,
in your recycle bin because you
Right.
want to recycle all those things, right?
yeah,
Problem is when it gets to the sorting facility, as soon as it hits their table, and one thing hits their table that's not acceptable, this is where your sorting expense goes up, because they take that whole load and go like this.
Yeah,
That's now, we've
right,
transported your trash twice and handled it twice, you get twice the cost.
right, and then the other
So
thing
that's
that
the biggest
but
thing.
Rebecca's come up to also is the diversion of loads.
Yeah.
Diverting loads, which is, we had no idea what it meant. She said, you already paid the processing fee, now they're diverting the load and charging you for a diverted load. So, yes, so there's a lot to this
Funny
recycling thing.
business.
Well, there's a lot to it, I think.
Right, that it's much more complicated than one.
Correct,
Okay.
and I think I forget who said it first, but public education as to what we want you to recycle is going to be really important. Because we really don't want you throwing stuff in there that doesn't belong there.
Do we
I
often
need
pay the
that.
contamination fee with that?
I'm sorry?
Do we often get hit with that contamination fee?
There is that factor, if you look in the,
Let's just look at-
recycling rebate, it mentions the contamination percentage, cause there's only a certain amount
Right,
that's allowed
but
per
have
the
we been,
contract.
do we regularly incur that?
We don't ever get a rebate.
So are we incurring the contamination?
Well,
Is
they-
that the reason why, or is it
Yeah.
because,
Well,
that's
they-
what I wanna know.
Do we go
Because I
over
couldn't-
what
You
they
pay, you
anticipate?
pay up front, basically. and then
Yeah,
if
they
you-
anticipate contamination.
They anticipate,
But it
and then
said
if
there
you
was a
stay under the limit,
A certain
$225
amount.
Yeah.
contamination fee that-
It's a
or
formula.
10%. Yeah, and I was just trying to extrapolate that to see if like monthly we're getting that fee or,
Right.
or if we're doing a pretty good job, and I wasn't able to really understand.
I think that's the intention. I mean,
Yeah, and
So
I-
is this
I
the
was a
same
little
from
frustrated.
company to company? We don't know. But these are the things that I think might be some of the criteria. We don't want something so complicated that we can't sit down and figure out how this bill came to be.
But
You
I do
know.
think, for example, waste management in the contract
Yes.
says that you can't have anything like under 2 inches.
Yes.
Okay, so that means you shouldn't put the cap back on the milk jug? I don't know.
But
I
that's
mean,
what they
they're
said you should put it on. I thought they said
Or
you
do you
should
put it in the
on.
trash? That's what I, things, little
Little
things like that
are
will help
helpful,
us
yeah.
if we can really understand that,
Wow.
because, you know, it affects, it's gonna affect the load.
Right.
Everybody's putting a cap on
Right.
it, they don't want that.
So this is something that we'll have to start to work on by looking at what other towns have asked for in their requests, by the fact that we have, you know, someone who's full-time here still uncovering things that we didn't know were in our contract. That's not a
I
good
think they have a
thing.
responsibility to really let us know too,
Yes,
what's going in the recycling that shouldn't be. And I know part of it, they call it wish cycling. You're not sure, but you figure, I don't wanna throw it in the trash, so you throw it in the recycling. You're not really sure if it's the right
Yeah.
plastic or not, because some of them are a little
I
confusing.
mean, I'm gonna keep,
And
I've
even if,
looked
no
at the
matter how
trash
much you
bill.
wish,
It look-
if
Yeah.
it's not recyclable.
But it looks
it's
to
not
me
recyclable.
like they make an assumption of a certain percentage of each recyclable
Well, yeah,
and a certain
you're
percentage
up
of
to 10%.
Well,
contamination.
that's good for them.
But it's
Yeah.
based on an audit, so they do an audit.
Yes.
So the single stream materials are measured to be determined by a percentage of non-recyclable.
But you do the
Right.
audit every month. or-
So that's what I've been trying to take a look at too when you talk about it, because then you also have like the residue charge, and the residue charge is means the non-recyclables and other materials removed from the single stream materials due to the processing size, conditioning, processing constraints. So trying to figure out how that plays into the overall formula and how many times they're actually performing an audit to figure out exactly what that percentage is to be calculated into the rebate
Right.
factor.
Right, and if your recycling gets all wet in the rain, is the cardboard still recyclable? You can't really get an answer on that.
And you're already being charged an initial excess contamination fee of $225 per
yeah.
ton.
Yep.
And
If it's wet,
No, we
for
get
just
charged-
Straight
We
contamination.
get a trade charge no matter. They've made certain base assumptions.
And then they've automatically increased it by 3% every fiscal
so
year.
they are charging us that monthly?
Yes,
So they're charging that, so the initial company fee is 110 per delivered ton. Then the initial residue fee is 90 per delivered ton. And the initial excess contamination fee is 225 per ton.
So they're assuming it's excessively contaminated without having to audit on a monthly monthly basis?
I
That's
still
what
think they do an
understand.
audit, but I just don't know how it audited. It says when you look at the contract that the percentage of recyclables and residue components set forth as established and revised from time to time by the composition audits is multiplied by the current value of each commodity set forth below.
Could we ask for a copy of their last composition audit?
I believe that's what those
That's what-
reports
so
that
that's what that is,
the-
okay.
Where it
So
says
I'm
like
gonna-
the composition audit
Okay.
report percentages,
I got one of
so
those to look
those are
over,
the
so-
percentages that they're taking into consideration based upon what they're getting, actual value. So, I mean, it's somewhere in there, I just don't
So
know how
those,
they're getting
but
it.
Yeah,
those numbers
I
are,
couldn't extrapolate.
those are their estimated numbers, those aren't factual.
Well, based on their audit, they just project it and they use it,
Right.
and then we get charged, and that's how they do it.
Or
So-
if we go under the number, I imagine you get a rebate.
Yes,
If they do an audit.
So they've
based
set a
on-
baseline,
Yes,
they charge you for the baseline.
Right.
correct.
They said if you go over the baseline, we adjust your price higher.
Follow,
If you go
yeah.
under, you get a rebate.
Right. And we're never getting a rebate.
Well,
Right, so,
again, I think it comes back to
education,
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 because
100%.
if we're
to
only
know.
throwing,
You have to know.
50% of the things we're throwing in the recycle bin are
Yes,
not eligible
Right.
or cause contamination through one source or another,
It's
but
better than
unbeknowingly to the majority of us residents, we're
the
doing it
wish.
because we think we're doing the right thing,
Mhm.
but in actuality, we're not, then it hurts. We can control that behavior through education and through posters and say, this is a do, this is a don't. And then hopefully, over the next 2 years of this contract, we can see a trend migrating
I
toward,
agree.
you know,
A
the right way.
website, put flyers in everybody's
Right, I
mailbox,
mean,
whatever we have to
Yeah.
do.
It seems like
Paper,
our
unfortunately, is
cost
the only way
basis is getting
I get
more
reactions.
complex.
Put it in their mailbox.
I would say the cost basis in the new contract is more
And hopefully they
complex
read.
Mhm.
than in the old one. In the old contract, I mean, I have
Put
to
right
tell
on
you.
there,
from
this is
two
not
ways to-
junk mail.
Oh,
This
boy.
is,
Save you money.
right,
Um,
I mean, whatever.
and
Some
we
will
You
get
wanna
Right.
save some money?
It shouldn't be that hard to
Do
figure
these
Yeah.
things.
100%.
out.
you'd be surprised. Yeah, I would take a
they
look
talk
at some of
about
the
it
bills
in
as
the-
well,
in
because
the-
they're
in the
just
group
not
Like even when you throw a pizza box away,
straight up.
right? You throw a pizza box away, it's cardboard, right? But
Not
all
if
that
it's
grease from the pizza,
full of food.
that will take your whole load. Bye-bye.
Alright, no more pizza boxes.
So if you have a
So-
pizza box that has like a little corner with heavy grease on it, rip that corner off.
Oh,
If the whole
right.
bottom of the thing, if you got a really, you got a
Cut the
great
bottom
pizza
off.
with 700 pounds of cheese on it, throw the whole thing in the barrel because you're gonna save
Yeah.
potentially up to 100 or 50 or 200
Right.
pounds of pizza.
Right now, we're not quite sure what we're gonna save or not save, because the language of the contract favors the company, not us
Oh,
understanding. I mean,
exactly.
it's not as user-friendly. And hopefully we can get to a place where it is more direct and more straightforward, but, so, looking over those other contracts, I think would be a good starting point.
Oh, the contracts we got, have they been
Yeah.
updated? Because,
I believe some of them are in current negotiations. I know that,
Yes.
Newburyport just went out for bid.
I actually read through all of them and put them in binders, so
So I did, when I
Go
did a
through it,
little
but
research with.
a lot of them have expired.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of them don't yield enough data or information to, you know, accurately compare what we have to what they have. So it's hard to do any analysis or know, you know, basically, how to approach our next contract or our next
Yeah.
proposal without really knowing what they did, what they are paying, how they structured their contracts.
Yeah.
Um,
So we have to reach out, maybe we pick a
You
couple
have
of
Methuen,
towns.
Methuen just did theirs, and that was a really, really comprehensive overhaul of what they currently had, because in Methuen, I mean, they were one of the ones you could clean out a house and put it on your
Oh my
front
God,
lawn and
yes.
they'd take it all.
I,
So West Newbury
Wow.
just,
I live in Methuen.
and West Newbury just extended their contract out until 2026, and Merrimack is out until 2028. The Boxford
Yeah.
contract got extended by a year. They're currently going through the same process we are,
Yeah.
getting survey information, survey data to figure out whether or not they wanna do, a manual,
Sort?
no, the,
Financial.
no, the, oh, when you take the cart, they throw it in, then the bin.
No, the automatic
Automatic
pickup.
pickup,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Doing
yeah.
this
So
the
they wanna do
70-page
those.
one.
Getting the cards for
Yeah.
everyone.
I see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
I know that,
Print it away.
Newburyport went out for bid and didn't get any
Yeah, they didn't get
proposals, or
Any bids.
they're in the process of getting proposals
Okay.
or something.
Newburyport?
Newburyport is.
They didn't get any bids.
Yeah, I don't know if they didn't
Really?
get, yeah.
Wow, they didn't get not one bid. So I reached out to a few bigger cities about this and what they went through. They basically took their existing contract, because we're in a perfect year, we have a contract. Well, this is a good time to do this.
Yeah.
Took
I
their
agree.
existing contract, they asked for proposals. They looked at similar sized towns or cities and saw what their bids were. So you take those three numbers and you get a really good idea of where you could be, somewhere in the middle, you know when you're getting too high. Everybody I've talked to says, don't try and go out for bid. Work with either the provider you have now or find another provider and get a proposal from them and kind of work the system to your ability, your best ability, because going out for bid, two things happen. Either you get no bids back
Wow.
or you get a bid that is astronomically high.
Right.
Because sometimes, thank God it didn't happen, and then if they only got one bid back and it was some
Right.
crazy number, guess what?
That's
own
the
it.
whole bid.
You own it.
But,
So if that happens now, no bueno. It's
well,
no
we
good.
can go out for proposal though, as
Correct.
long as the criteria is clear,
Correct.
we can
Yeah,
also say
criteria
we
being
didn't,
clear.
Yeah,
if
you
we
gotta hand
determine,
down
let me ask
the
you this, Rebecca, we do,
criteria.
let's say we came up with criteria. Let's say that we go out and then we realize what we get back isn't satisfactory, can we redefine criteria and go back out for proposal again?
You can go out for
Can do
bid as many
proposals.
times as you want.
Okay, so proposal especially because it's criteria based,
Right.
so we're
You
ranking.
can change the criteria every time.
So that makes it even more important to get the latest and greatest contracts that these other towns and cities
Correct.
have, so that we can use theirs to gain the greatest amount of leverage
Right.
on our part to get the greatest value
Okay.
Town.
So,
to the town.
in the interim, the only other thing I put on the agenda was compost. Because it seems like that's something we could maybe do or get going on now.
Yeah, I went to the Groveland Highway Garage the other day to drop off some brush.
Yeah,
They have, it looks like a compost pile.
they do, and so,
How come the
some,
residents can't just use that for their
well,
composting?
yes, well, there's companies that would come in and, I had a sheet, I forget what, I don't know what I went to now. It was from Rebecca's pile, it tells,
The black
Kind of-
earth compost.
yeah, kinda, no, it's the Stapleton.
We can
compost.
turn around and sell
But,
it, or use it on our town.
Basically, they have a little, I don't know where it went to, it was on the TV. They would come in, or, you know, right now they're not working directly in this area, but they would come in and kind of take it over for us, is my understanding of it. They would take the yard waste and the food waste, and they
I
would
keep forgetting
seek
about
to
that.
produce sellable compost, saleable compost. It was on, it was one of the things, we have too much paper, that's the problem. Let me find out my iPad, because then we
Did you, was this what you were looking for?
no, I have that, the organic guide. There was something that was more like a, from them for another town. I'm not saying this particular company is ready to come in. Oh, that's it, yeah, that's the cover letter for response. So this document talks about, bringing the new service into the town. I have it on my iPad, so I can put it here. But, it's really, I think it's really exciting. I don't know if we're too small or they're not, ready to come to
I've
us.
dabbled in it a few times.
You know.
We've gotten close.
Yeah,
Black
so,
Earth. and a
yeah,
few
the
other-
Black Earth, our
just
business
went out
plan
to
is to
Guam.
take two waste, food and yard waste, which normally cost municipalities money, and convert them into a high-quality product that can be sold at garden centers in bags and direct to gardeners and farmers. The revenue allows us to provide services back to the town for no charge or reduced charge.
Wow.
These services include management of the compost facility and town-wide food scrap collection. We have designed our model to be the easiest way for a municipality to roll out an organic food scrap collection program. So, then this goes on for pages. You can see the thing is very detailed and everything, and that is one printout of it. You can make more of them and photocopy that on the machine. But,
Do they have very specific guidelines for what they're willing to compost, like as far as food waste? Like
Bones.
usually they say no meat.
No, they say.
No,
Meat's
they-
okay?
Pizza
Yeah.
boxes, yeah.
What about, sometimes
Bones.
when you're composting, you're supposed to avoid using, like rose bushes or tomato plants because of the potential for spreading fungus.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know,
they
they-
didn't mention
But
that.
maybe it cooks hot
Here-
enough that it
here's-
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
the scope of the work, they list some of the possible savings from working with a company such as this. New town savings, savings on the annual cost for grinding brush, no stumps, black earth pays for this, savings on equipping, staffing, managing, and maintaining the compost facilities, savings because the town will not have to truck out the cubic yards of yard debris from the current compost site each year. Black earth will compost this material on-site, giving 75% volume reduction in the process. Savings on the trash tip fees the town pays at the incinerator landfill for municipal
Is that
charge.
with the food waste?
Yeah,
Yes,
for
it
every,
eliminates a
Huge
huge.
for every 700 households, 160 tons of organics per year equals $10,000 in trash tip fees, assuming $70 per ton. We're paying more than 70, what are
Pay
we?
90,
90, 94, it's going up.
90 something.
And so, half cost of residential curbside collection of food scraps, $221 per week per household. This is a private subscription. Black Earth handles signups, customer service, and residents purchase a uniform green 15-gallon bin for us.
I know Georgetown has them.
But they've said they're not up in this area yet, right?
Oh.
Rebecca?
They are, they're in Ipswich.
I have a friend who has them in
Yeah.
Georgetown.
Okay, so they are in our area because you reached out. and they-
We've talked to them on multiple occasions. We've actually even talked to them about putting one of their locations at the highway yard and giving them more land to allow them to move forward with what they were looking at. I know there was some initial concerns with the area being the aquifer, the area with the habitat, and the area
Okay.
with the wetlands that were bordering the property. But we did have a lengthy conversation with the gentleman to kind of understand exactly how we could bring these services to Groveland and how we can even maximize the land that we have in order to provide that service. But
Because we have land available.
How did it end up?
So, you have a copy of the email.
They had bins they were gonna do, we did some composting bins, but they were pushing the pickup.
Facility? Or just
They were
the-
pushing the pickup. I think the facility, maybe a few years ago, we were in a good position to do it.
Yeah.
But
'Cause
I would
did
go
one-
for the
they just
pickup,
did-
I'd go for
the
anything.
pickup is, like I said, is a huge savings for the town. You might
It's
have
just-
to,
It is a subscription.
you get a subscription, so
Yeah.
that was the thing that was, are people gonna go for it? It's, what was it, $20 a month, some of them were 50.
it depends on what they wanted for
Yeah.
pickups too,
It
weekly,
depends,
monthly,
yeah.
bi-weekly,
If you did
whatever
once,
it was.
if you did once a week, it was a certain
$4
number.
or something.
Yeah,
But I feel like we have,
yeah, it was like, ended up being like $20 to $30 a month. But people don't realize you're paying $50 or $100 for that same waste to get picked up by a trash guy. But they don't,
to me, a
again,
small
education,
town
they
like
don't know
us,
that it cost them that much money to
getting
get rid of
involved
that.
with some company like this, that, and helping them set up nearby us so they can help us.
They have to, I believe they have to have enough people in town.
To
Yeah.
make it worthwhile.
Okay, well,
200?
you think we can't get 100 people in
I thought it was like
Groveland?
70.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
it was
we
like
can-
around
I think
100.
we can
Like
get,
70 people, I
To
think they
start.
said they were interested in it,
Yeah.
but that doesn't, mean that they're really interested enough
No,
to
if we
pay.
push it-
Yeah.
If we push the narrative that, think of the money you're saving. I
but
think
they're
it'd
not
be-
saving anything right
Yeah.
now.
Well, they
No,
will
the
be.
town
though.
is. So
Right.
that's the,
That's your biggest
that's,
problem.
having
You're
them
never
come
gonna
in
convince
and
anybody to
manage
save
it.
the time.
Because they don't
Having
see
them
the
come in
big
and
picture
manage it
is
is a
that
much
you are
better
over
thing.
time saving money.
Or
'cause
having
your
the
contract
town
stays
pay
the
the
same, your taxes stay
subscription.
the same. Trash goes up,
Or
your
if the
taxes go
town-
up.
That's a good way to look
You-
at
I
it.
mean,
The
it always-
taxes
Subsidized?
don't stay
What
the
was it?
same.
Correct.
You know that as well as I do.
True.
So the mentality is
Who
gonna
would
be,
subsidize?
I just paid for an extra
RFP
service and
points.
my taxes still went.
Um,
So what did I save? I saved
in
nothing. I
terms of,
actually cost
I'm
me
not
more
too
money.
sure, because if they would help
That
subsidize the cost of
Is, in my
the
opinion,
bins, it's not the gonna drive the customer and
This
like,
is gonna fly.
like
A
what would it,
message that-
you know what I mean, like,
Dies
I'm
before it
just
even
throwing it
arrives.
out there. If there was
But
a
if you
way
think
we
about
could-
where
like we did with the other
the
one.
prices of pushing
Sure.
for trash, they've
And
gotten
less
exponentially
than, maybe
higher,
less than the
what's gonna
cost, but
happen
then
in
you
5 or
can't do
10
that
years?
because it's not.
They don't
You'd have to only do it
Monies.
a one-time thing.
So
Yeah.
how many,
No,
so
They don't care
how many-
now, but
How many people did you
Again.
need? 100?
We'd have to
I
go
know,
and
it's tough to
confirm. I
sell.
remember the last time we
I
spoke to
agree.
them, it was something like 70 that
So it would have
signed
to
up.
be 100 people who are willing to pay the $75 setup fee plus the $20 per month.
Right, whatever the cost is now, I'm not sure.
I mean, my friend Casey is, she's in Georgetown, but they are paying for it separately. If you get enough people together, then it's the discounted rate. And is this the discounted rate?
Well, what is the, see, in Georgetown, they're pay-as-you-throw or something. See, if we go to pay-as-you-throw,
No, I mean as far as black earth
then it
compost.
becomes cost-effective to join this.
Right.
Because you're not gonna be throwing out as much stuff.
Well, you mean cost
Pay as you
effective
go.
for the
Yeah.
individual
Yeah.
consumer.
Vote.
Well,
But
yeah.
for the town, it would be extremely cost effective.
Yes.
It's
Did it
this is-
townwide, it would
The
be.
perfect thing would be to have them come in and manage it
Yes.
somehow,
Yeah, let's stick it.
because we already have
Well,
composting
those-
of yard
So
waste
then you
going.
want 2 acres and get 7 acres.
Well, I think we have 2 acres here and there, I mean.
Of course it would.
I don't, I
Well,
didn't
We're already
Right.
utilizing almost an acre for the compost pile that is existing.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's that site in
It's about
particular they're not
40,000
that
square
happy
feet.
with, I don't know why.
Is what
I
we
mean, the
use.
town has a lot of pockets
So
of
you
land,
need
that's what
an
you're looking
additional
for.
2 acres?
No, you need another.
I know.
So we just talked to Annie about a 2-acre parcel that we
Had
could
to go
use,
up to town hall to get this.
right?
Great resistance.
Well, again, I think it goes back to whether or not
I always thought
the
it was foolish, but-
land is amenable to that, whether or not there's habitat, aquifer, or other things.
Conservation.
that
You're
are
saying yes,
Because they're
all
not gonna
lesser.
wanna do that, you know, we could say, hey, here you go, but with all due respect, conservation would be like, no, that, you know, that's dead.
Well, no, but we have plenty of
whatever.
donated land
Yeah, but it,
that we could examine
you have to have a
closely.
place to take trucks. It has to be a place where the trucks.
You're right,
can
trucks,
use it.
yeah.
You can't just be anywhere, or I give my yard.
Yeah, can't be down the pines.
Could be
No,
on
but
where the
there's-
senior center was gonna go.
I mean, there might be a parcel like
I don't know.
that somebody's done.
I just feel, I don't
Yeah,
know,
there might be.
Rebecca, what do you think? Do you have any overall thoughts? I know you've reached out to them, but what if the town, how could the town show that it's very committed to wanting to get something like this going? What could we do?
So we can reach back out to the gentleman that we had a meeting with and see exactly where he fell, because I know he was gonna do his own due diligence and see if there was something or any interest in actually locating the building. To
Okay,
get a better understanding, but I mean, they might not really want to make the investment here.
mhm,
But we can definitely reach out and see if they've had any additional interest from Groveland residents and what we would need to be able to do in order to advocate and get more people to sign up, so we can at least bring the service there for those who do want to utilize it.
How long ago did you have a meeting with them?
It was back when that email, what is it,
It was
like 2000?
2022.
Yeah, 22.
December.
December,
Yeah.
I would have think, you would have heard from them by now if they were interested.
Yeah, so
Well,
I don't,
well-
that's why I think that if anything, it
I
didn't
mean,
sound
his-
like towards the end.
the
email
nice,
says, let us know if you.
Right, yeah,
I
I
mean,
wouldn't say
the
that.
the thing that I think Groveland has is we have available land, and we're kind of nestled in between
I
the
know.
major routes, right?
Like I said, when I originally
check,
reached out
plus,
to them,
plus.
they were very
And we're really nice.
interested, and then I think they
Mostly.
ended up with a spot in Ipswich or Topsfield, I believe it was Ipswich. So they have a location close by right now. I think we're like kind of in the same footprint as what they already have, so I don't know if we're as
What about
suitable.
if Haverhill got involved with us? Are they doing anything like this?
not that I'm aware of.
So,
But I don't think they have the land.
no,
They
we
have
have the land
a-
and
they
they have a
big
lot of
They have
people.
compost over there, I've been out behind the highway garage.
Yeah,
They got
but
compost,
not,
but
probably not the food, not this.
I don't know.
And they're not selling it in stores.
Right,
Neither are we, right?
right.
What do we do with those anyway?
Do it that way.
People go and get
The pile.
some for the garden.
I'm jumping.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's sitting there. Come on
people
down
just-
and get a whole truckload if you want.
Yeah, I don't have to, but that's okay, thank you. So we don't truck it out, we let some people come get it, okay. But
Is that,
if this were to get going, there'd be way too much compost to let it all sit.
Right.
Yeah,
That's the whole thing, is they would take it,
Yeah, they
manage it,
take care of it.
right, but if
cart it
they,
off-site,
They bag it.
or
right, but
use it
they,
there.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
they would smell after a while.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the other concerns that they have, with the location far enough away from residences, far away.
That's the thing, but you can
Mhm.
use their
On what side
service
they-
without having the facility involved.
I wish they thought of that when they put the sewage treatment plant where they did.
oh, I know, right? Those poor people down there.
We don't have to, it's not like an either or. It's not like you have it and their facility has to be here.
No.
It's, you can use their service
Right.
as a subscription.
Right, but
Right.
my concern is like, in
You're still gonna
Groveland,
have,
the
each person's
taxpayer's
have
gonna
to pay
say,
a little
why
bit,
should I pay
even if
when I
there's
get my trash
services
picked
there.
up and I've already paid for that?
Mhm.
Why should I pay more?
Right.
So I feel like we have to work out some kind of, either a discount on abatement on your taxes if you participate
Oh,
in
yeah.
this, or something
That's a
like
really
that.
good
I
idea.
don't know if you can do that. Rebecca's going,
Can do
Kathy,
that.
we
I don't
can't do,
know.
error.
I'm pretty sure someone's going to jail.
Don't
if
they
he says
Yeah.
that.
suggest that
It's okay, 'cause I ain't gonna be
Pretty
But-
sure you're
But-
gonna end up in
No, but
front
I'm
of
just saying, what
Massachusetts
is
Supreme
the average
Court.
person who probably would like to help do what's right is gonna say, why should I do this if I'm gonna pay for my trash to be picked up on my tax
I
bill?
agree.
And then I'm gonna pay for my compost to be picked up as a subscription. Now I'm paying twice for the same stuff.
But that's like a worldwide problem. If you wanna buy, better, environmentally
Correct.
friendly materials, it costs more than the stuff that's not. If you wanna buy perishable items such as fruits and vegetables,
But
it
that's
costs more than.
purchasing. Right now, we're talking about things you're throwing out and having to
But
pay
if they're
more.
buying the better stuff,
Some
then they
people might
wouldn't
care enough
necessarily,
Yeah, but
you know what I
that,
mean?
yeah.
They're
It-
just,
Don't
my
get me
friend
wrong,
Casey
don't
does.
get me- I'd like to
It's
believe
more
that
of an
everybody
individual
is.
choice, and you see, the
Right.
difference is, when I go in and buy a box of Kleenex, for example, I look at one box that says sourced from sustainable forest, the other one says not. This one's $1 more than this one, but I'm environmentally conscious. I said, well, I'm gonna pay the extra $1, I'm gonna get it from sustainable forest, because I can leave the other one there. The problem we have here is, I buy this one and I still pay for this. There's no, I can
Yeah,
leave this one here
yeah.
if I buy this one. You know what I
It
mean?
needs to be fair.
So,
But if you
To Kathy's
compost on
point,
your own
it's-
property, right?
Well,
Which I
that's one,
do,
yeah,
I
right.
still buy a container, I mean,
I know,
still
because
put
we
money
don't
out to
recognize
do it.
that, but I'm saying if we go to a town-wide compost pickup, why can't we find a way to incentivize it? So that the people that are willing to participate and are helping us lower our tonnage see some kind of an incentive to it. I mean, why doesn't the town just pick up the subscription cost then? If it's gonna save us that much on tonnage, 35% of our waste is food waste, right? So why
that an
couldn't we
accurate number?
factor, that's what was in the presentation that I saw from the library, that you,
30%.
30%.
30%.
I always like to round up. 30%,
I think it was 30. Could be
30 or
wrong.
35.
That's
Either one's a
that's
good
lot of
number.
weight.
But the point is, why can't we think outside the box of those people who care enough to do the $20? Incentivize it by the town picking it up, the subscription cost. So,
From what pocket of money?
from the
Yeah.
trash contract, from the same pool of money that's paying for it all
But we'd
anyway.
have to pay for it up front and then be reimbursed and then see
I don't know. Yeah, but I'm just
And then
saying.
If we
the-
wanted to start something like this now, to start siphoning off all the excess trash that we're producing.
You
right?
could
How
maybe
could you
design,
take that out
could
of
you
the
design a
trash
pilot
contract?
program and fund it
I
for a
think it
year?
should be
Make
a
it as a
pilot.
CPC project?
Yeah, just.
Can it? No.
No, I don't think so.
CPC,
That's a
CPA,
dumb idea.
CPD, CPG.
Yeah, you bought in. What do you mean? You're
CPQ.
like, hey.
It has nothing to do with any of
Yeah,
those
right.
buckets of money, so
Okay.
no.
The
Yes.
only
there-
thing I could think of was the point money, which one we get, 2,000?
We only got, 2,000, and the more that we invest back into sustainable and programming and recycling type measures, the more points we get. But there's other grants available that we were looking at through Mass DEP that we can explore more than we were just
Another
to
option.
yeah,
If
to
you could
look
at least
at.
buy everybody their bucket.
I mean, this is a nice
That's like
flyer.
$19 bucket,
This
right?
makes you
Mhm.
wanna do this.
Yeah.
If I
It
didn't
makes you
already
wanna
compost,
do
I
it.
would do that.
I
You
mean,
just can't, I'm all on board with trying to find a grant or to utilize those monies in order to purchase the buckets or the bags and get the program run. But I think that it's not financially sound practice to take on an additional ongoing cost when we're already struggling with that particular budget line item.
But if you changed that ongoing cost to pay as you throw, then the people that are paying the subscription would see a difference
I
in
think
what
it's
they
worth
have,
a try.
in what they have
It's
to
worth
pay as they
trying
throw,
somehow.
right? So then you could say, well, I'm only throwing out this much, and I'm paying a subscription for
You
this
can't
other
go to
stuff.
pay as you throw for how many years?
Just 2 years. We're in, we've got,
So do you think it'd be worth it to maybe the company reaches out again to the people that were interested? Because maybe they are interested enough to pay the subscription.
Right, I mean,
To
I
help
don't-
it get, to
right.
help it get off. the
so, I
ground.
mean, I don't know what, how Merrimack does their pay as you throw. I'd have to look at it, because I think they have a couple of companies you can contract with, right? That come to your house. I think that's what they do in
We
Merrimack.
have a pay-as-you-throw contract already with Waste Zero. I mean, that's
Mhm.
essentially as a
Yeah.
pay-as-you-throw.
I've gone and bought the purple bags.
But
Of
that's
course,
essentially a
people have
pay-as-you-throw.
hard time finding them in your
Yeah,
store.
but we don't,
But we have the trash.
each,
We're not
like,
gonna talk about that.
my understanding is that in towns where they offer like two, like, I think where Denise is, Sterling, they offer two companies, and you contract, the individual household decides, is that what
Yeah,
happened?
well then, in Stowe, they don't have any trash contract right now.
Okay.
They all do it individually per home.
Well, that's what I'm, so they provide like a network of who you can choose from, right?
Wow.
I'm not sure, I just remember she had asked for the contract and she said that they currently don't have one.
But
And
it-
that's just like, wow.
But I'm saying if you had that kind of ability to contract for how much trash you needed picked up, and then you could do this with your other trash, right? You're putting it, then the people that want to just throw everything out, they contract to pay the cost of throwing everything out.
That's even available? That's
I'm
wild.
not sure, but I've heard of it. I
Towns
just
do
have,
it.
I thought Merrimack does not have one contract for the whole town on everything.
Well, they,
And
that,
Georgetown is a transfer station, right? Do they even have curbside pickup?
Good point.
Oxford is pay as you throw, aren't they?
They used to be,
It might be.
you have to buy the stickers and
So I'm just wondering if it's the big cities that are gonna
Oh,
end
that's
up
how they
with
do
the
it?
curbside
the.
pickup,
Yeah,
and
you
the
buy the
smaller
sticker and you put on
communities
That's
are
what
gonna
it
go
used
to
to be.
more individualized
So if we put out
approach.
less trash.
So you take that all right out of the town budget? We wouldn't have to have a trash contract anymore?
Well, no,
That's a
well,
possibility?
I'm not saying we're gonna lower your taxes, but we won't
Yeah,
raise
that's the
them.
problem.
Well,
course
let's say we
not.
won't raise them for the new contract. Check that.
There is no contract. We can adjourn right now. We're done. Let the people pay for themselves.
But we should find out
It's
what
the
it is
taxes.
to individual, to have it,
Taxes aren't gonna
not
go down.
be
with paying for your
one
trash.
contract suits all.
That'll be
Right?
really good.
Kaboom.
Right, well, the thing is,
I
that,
know.
that company
All
also
6,500 people
said
be
they could
getting
put
it.
Maren
containers
Cares.
at the composting
Yeah.
site.
Oh,
We just bought 2 new.
People would
All
have to
right,
bring
can you
their
use that
stuff
one?
there and put it in.
That's
Which is
interesting.
probably less likely that people would do that though. Put your food scraps in your car and take it, you know what I mean?
yeah.
They,
think
I
that's
don't
less
think
likely
Black
that
Earth
people
offers
would
that.
do
They do pick up, but I don't know if they do drop off. I know there are companies that do that.
No, she's saying
No.
we could drop off
No.
at the town facility and they would pick up
They-
from there.
They
Oh.
had said they would put
So,
containers there for
yes.
people to bring their own.
Yes.
But I'm just thinking, I bet a lot of people.
I mean, who wants to
wanna do
travel
that,
in their car?
Especially in a 90-degree.
And those ones, again,
I already
they,
had a dead mouse.
they,
in my
they
car,
man
so
those.
it stunk.
Those containers that they man those. That's part of their,
Yeah.
part of
But I
their
don't know
job.
what, I didn't think that was as feasible as a pilot program where you
Yeah.
actually just put it out on the curb
Yeah,
with the
they
rest of
come
the
and-
stuff.
Yeah, because
I don't know what everybody else thinks.
I really like this compost.
I
Yeah,
know,
it's a great
It's a
idea.
great idea, but it's pricey.
I know, but I'd love to find some way to work it in so that people that participate in it don't feel like
And we
they're
actually
just
had another
shelling out.
company, remember the other
Shelling
company
out,
that we
what,
brought
you know what I
in?
mean? You're not
They
paying
actually had
twice
the
for
little
the same.
evacuators that you bought.
Much as you want to do the
Remember
right thing, you also
That
don't
was
want to
another
be the
great-
dupe that's, you know, paying your
Actually, cook
taxes and then
share.
paying another couple $100 a year to
That was
compost.
expensive.
Even though, as you say, we'll go out and I'll look at products, I'm gonna buy that. That's different.
I mean, this could, I mean, doesn't Massachusetts require local, or restaurants to compost their
food waste.
The grease.
Yes,
and-
exactly. Like, so for example, in
Tea bag.
these couple of
Right.
restaurants, like,
They
would this
say-
be beneficial to them?
It says it's coming down the line that within the next 10 years, we're all gonna have to do this anyway.
Right, so if we figure it
So,
out now,
like,
we're
there's
better off.
Proactive.
the transfer station drop off,
Wait till
easiest
9 years and
way.
11 months and then we'll get it hammered down.
But the amount
What happens
divert,
around here
the
was
thing they
the
say about the
guns
drop
that
off, the amount
And it's too late.
diverted
Just
won't
follow
compare to
the,
curbside
sheep off the
program.
hill.
Right, because it's an
Curbside
extra,
is the best.
Well, people aren't necessarily gonna love the garbage.
we need 100 people, which is with a $75 setup fee, so that's $7,500 right off the bat
Yeah.
that we would need to pay for,
Yeah.
plus $20. I mean, I think the average person would pay, I mean, I don't know, I would pay $20. I compost everything, we're vegetarian, so we don't really count, but like, for people
Yeah.
who have other things to compost, like, I feel like $20 a month isn't a lot to
Well, what
ask.
I'm thinking is if we
But the
could get,
upfront fee is a lot.
yeah, if we could get something off the
Those
ground,
buckets.
like a pilot program, and then show, I
That's
mean,
what
I'm
they do
assuming
with-
they're gonna need to be able to tell us our tonnage of when they're picking up. They're gonna be able to report back the tonnage they picked up. 'cause
They
we-
do a pilot program. I think they do
Yeah, I think
20 or
the pilot
40 where they
makes
start
sense.
off with a pilot program and see if it grabs on. So that was
Oh,
the thing, is they
right.
wanted the town to come up with the upfront cost of the pilot program,
Yeah,
which I think was like $5,000 or $6,000, and then
yeah,
see what happens.
So
See
we
if,
need to
you
find
might have
money.
200 people or 300
Yeah.
people. I mean, who knows? It might take off. I mean, the people in this town, a lot of them are, not to the extreme that they compost in their own yard, but, they're
Yeah.
conscientious of it, I think, so.
There's two things with that. What do you do when it's frozen solid in the winter? How do they get it out of the container?
I don't
And
know.
the other thing is in
Yeah.
summertime, it
That's
stinks in my yard, stinks in my yard. I don't want it sitting there for a month. It
No,
only
they
comes
pick
once a
up-
month.
No, I
Well,
think
you
it's,
put it in that.
Read the
it's once a
flyer,
week.
they
Yes,
pick up
ma'am,
a
I
lot.
will.
7
7
days
days a week, if you want, that's a lot, every day?
They ain't coming by my house 7 days a week.
Well, no, I
That'd be
think some of
way
this
too
is
much.
business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be way too much.
That would
I
be a
think once a
restaurant.
week for residentials.
Yeah,
Once
I
a
think
month?
it talks
Once a
about
week.
voter.
Once a week, okay.
So like
okay.
regular trash,
Yeah.
but even still, once a week, on a hot summer week.
No, but what's the difference between this and your
Put
trash?
that in the shade.
Right,
Exactly,
Sitting
yeah,
garage,
exactly.
putting it in
in
your trash
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
I hear you.
It's the same thing.
Mhm.
Right.
and they have a nice
Right.
little liner,
So
so, okay, so
ideally,
we're about time, I
ideally, if you could piggyback this with a container program,
Mhm.
one trash, one recycle, one food, at the same time, so that the offsetting charges from the trash and recycle would be in the food pickup, and the
Mhm.
town could cover all that in the same nut as you do
Well,
right now,
that's what I'm
just
thinking,
trash
to
and
make this
recycle.
fly, you're gonna have to make it worthwhile,
Globally,
people,
it needs
yeah.
to be global, or it,
Yeah.
it won't be beneficial enough to make a dent. You won't notice it'll be a drop of water in the ocean.
But what
Right,
do you
so-
think about a pilot that proves how many tons, that we could really use it to extrapolate?
His idea is gonna Landscapers Depot, they have special trucks.
Yeah.
They can put 3 loads on one truck and it opens. But you'd have to have a truck that can pick up those 3 separate
No,
pickups.
but
No,
the black girls
No.
will do their own.
They'll do their own.
All right.
Right now,
All right.
Waste
So-
management does 2,
I was thinking.
and
you
the
were
third
gonna-
one
I was-
stays
all right, all
there.
right.
Food,
I was
So-
black
thinking
goods
one
comes by,
company
picks
was
up
Is
the
this
third.
possible to do, that we put that in a contract, that we're gonna do that?
Put it in a
You can put in a
That we're
proposal.
gonna do this, recycle, and trash.
That's your proposal, that's your
Yes.
criteria.
Thirty
We're gonna do
percent of our
this.
trash is
So we might
gone,
have
you don't
3
need to deal
companies
with it.
involved, potentially.
Yeah, the only company in
Yeah.
the
Okay.
You just have to separate them out.
I mean, would we be able to go to town meeting and ask the town if they want to pursue something like this, if it's just a $5,000 upfront?
There's not enough,
Pilot program?
what's there, 100 people at a
That's
time?
why you do
The pilot
that's
I
why you
wouldn't
do
go
the
to town
pilot
meeting.
program,
The
because then
pilot
you
you
can come,
just do.
you can
Yeah.
come to the town meeting and say, we have
Still need to come up with
actionable.
$5,000.
Right, now
Oh,
you have some
Maybe
Rebecca's
Rebecca
got
can
research on it.
Because your arms are
Says,
full,
hey,
this is
we have
not
100
a good
people.
sign from Rebecca.
We have 50 people,
No.
whatever, you have some number that
She's
that
listening,
says we have
more
people
intent.
that are
We're
interested.
trying to
So-
help.
No, we can definitely explore finding the $5,000 in one of the
Okay, so let's wrap up where we are. Who would like to look into what it would take to put together the cost of running a pilot program?
You only have to contact these
I would
people.
just use these people, yeah.
I'll do that.
You wanna do that? Okay.
I'll do that.
Get as much as you can on it,
Alright.
and we'll bring it back to the next meeting.
Alright,
You're already on the tonnage, so I'm gonna send you more tonnage.
As all the bills, as much data as you can send me that I can crunch. So that I
Okay.
can really peel back onions by months and by years and really get at the nitty gritty of what's driving a number.
We'll give
Because as you
you
see from the graph,
nitty-gritty.
it's not the tonnage.
So, what else do you think we need, for the next meeting?
I think, I wanted to ask Rebecca, so this group that we have now will count for one of these points, right?
Which one?
Under waste prevention, outreach and education. We haven't, met this criteria before, right? Under points, this particular one, I don't think, do you have to do 5 things?
Yes. Wasn't it, like, we put it out on the electric board, we put it in the library of things, we had it on the website.
But there's a bunch, sometime when you have more time, I just wanna talk to you about, because this group meets one of those criteria.
Okay.
So if we can figure out like 4 other educational things to do, what's our deadline for the next time?
Next year.
For the point program, this is
Yeah.
the point program?
Yeah, I honestly, the time
February, is it
blends
February?
together, but it's not until next year.
So I think I'd like to work on some of the educational stuff.
Okay, so Jen's gonna work on
Well,
education.
can we meet, can we have a subcommittee of our subcommittee?
You can subcommittee as much as
Because
you want.
can we meet
Yeah.
and work on this together? a
Yeah,
little bit?
sure.
Okay.
Awesome.
And you're on a hike, you can meet during the hike.
Yeah,
Well,
But
this is exactly
I'll
what
make a
this
list of what
committee
I
should
think
be
we can
doing.
do accomplish to take the other points.
See, Rebecca,
next year.
we're helping
I mean,
you.
because
I think
Because
that's
that's
great.
another.
I hope we're helping you.
No, I'm
think
trying to
that's
help
I
you.
hope we're not, your head doesn't wanna explode after
recycle
this
smart,
meeting.
wanna explode,
I
but I
wonder if
think
they
that
were part of
we're
the
right
plan.
direction.
You guys
It's
just
gonna
sit,
blow up in the other, in the right direction.
just sit back while the residents spin their minds
Take a
around.
deep breath,
Okay.
that's what I do.
So I got one more action
I
item.
think-
But no, that's
Okay.
great.
Updated contracts.
Okay.
What's that?
We got some updated contracts.
This would be so easy
The latest
to
and greatest
accomplish
contracts from
all
other
of
cities and towns.
I think Rebecca's
Poster
sending them our
campaign.
way as fast
Okay.
as
I
right
just sent you the
Happy to do
updated
that.
link.
I know.
I'm gonna send you this
I want a
one.
criteria list, I think,
Okay.
not next meeting, but maybe the meeting after that.
Okay, yeah, I think we need to go the compost
Headed
thing.
active recycling.
I'll get on it.
Yeah.
So
That's
we're
a
gonna
good
meet
one.
once a month, is that what
At the
we're
end of the
doing?
month, yeah, let's
So it's
make
been
it
a
work.
month since we were
Let's,
doing
Yep.
that. Wow.
My
See,
schedule
you
is
missed
up a
them,
little
you
bit.
missed
I
them,
did, I
that's,
just
I know.
asked about it.
Yeah, but if you
Schedule's
meet too
opening up
often,
this-
nobody does anything.
My job is.
We all just sit there and talk about what we talked about the week before. This way, you have time.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, all right. so
Homework, I
Jan
got
and
homework again,
Stephanie.
back in school. Awesome.
I know, isn't that great?
Rebecca's gonna look for $5,000.
I love when Rebecca gets assigned finding money. I'll find
I
some.
mean,
Why does
I
she have to
I
do
wish
it?
I
Why
had money,
can't
I would
we
just
do
be
it?
like, here's $5,000, but I don't.
Well, I
So-
think that the other thing that would be interesting to see exactly how much money we brought in from the sale of the bags.
Bags.
I mean, essentially it's
Rebecca,
supposed
who
to,
knows that? Who knows that? Board of Health supposed to know that?
I know that.
Oh, you know that.
I just don't know what the final figure is. I haven't looked at
Okay,
it in a while.
so,
Cause we had to pay for the initial
Right.
down payment and that
Right.
took over what we were able to bring in the sale of the bag, so I just need to
Now we're
know.
on, going up.
okay.
Yeah, I just need to know what we
So
are.
November 27th is the last Monday of November.
Can I bring some leftovers to eat? Cause I love my
I-
food.
Turkey sandwich.
Okay,
Piece of pie?
you can
for
bring a
everybody?
pie or, yep, whatever's left over, you can
Does it
bring
have to be that day, I'm wondering?
because,
You away? Going someplace?
I haven't had vacation since.
Ah,
oh, we
can't go last
Just go another
but
year
you
without
can
a
go and we can
vacation.
do compost and tonnage and we can do education at the next meeting.
Is that,
don't change
That's
your,
okay.
don't change your vacation.
No, go
Do
on
it.
your vacation, we'll
Yeah.
meet and we'll do other things and then when you come back, we'll do,
But you know
Education.
what?
depending on where I am in my time zone, I could probably, can't,
It's gonna be tough to meet in
If you're
December.
talking about time
Yeah,
zones, you
the
should not be
Monday.
Zoom meeting in
So
for
we're not
this
gonna do
place.
the
I'm just
fourth
saying.
so we'll,
So,
we'll.
dedication
that
is
one's
one
done.
thing.
If we don't do
Crazy is
November,
another.
we might not meet for 3
No,
months.
Go
we're
on your
doing
vacation.
November.
Oh, Right.
I'll send you the
But you're
link.
not,
this
probably
week.
not gonna do December.
Right.
that's
We'll
what I'm
do
saying.
something around towards end of December, beginning of January.
I want a
See,
present.
you can put in little ad-libs,
For
right?
what?
I don't know
For our
if
meeting,
anything
we
in
probably, we
December.
won't meet on Christmas, duh.
Oh,
Okay,
man,
Christmas is
you're buzz killing.
so,
Well,
we'll work
now
that
no Christmas, thank you.
Yeah, thanks,
No, I gotta stay home.
Thanks,
Okay,
Santa.
Thanks,
After
Mr.
work.
Scrooge.
Yeah, exactly. Dream crusher, as my kids
okay,
would call me.
okay. So, that's what we'll do. And then everybody take your vacation times, go to your family stuff. When you miss a meeting, we'll just work around it. It's fine.
We'll just note that you're
I
not
missed you
here.
though.
Huh?
We won't miss-
Just note that you're not here.
Bill, what's your email? I keep messing it up.
It's been a rough year,
Is it
Stephanie and I.
EONEIL?
No, it's Bill
Oh, it's Bill.
underscore
You know,
Underscore.
new jobs.
Oh,
ONDIL
that's why I messed it up.
at Comcast.net.
Oh, I don't do the underscore. That's why it doesn't pop up. That explains it.
That would explain it.
Ah, trash.
Got some explaining
Yeah, I
to
like
do.
that
It's-
Teams.
What do you think this, should we have a pilot program with this one, or this one?
The small one.
The
No,
small one,
okay, okay,
Yeah.
because my wheels in my head are already spinning here, so the small one, all right.
Well,
I mean, how much food waste do you?
I told you last meeting, I eat
I
everything on my
thought-
plate.
you
There
do.
is
Oh,
a-
did
we
say
put
that.
out a lot of vegetables.
There's
They go
nothing.
down.
Yeah.
So he's
that's
not
fine,
enrolling,
just two
because he
of
doesn't
us.
have any food
I had
waste.
some chicken bones tonight, that was it.
No, you'll get a lot of
Made chicken
veggies out
soup.
of my house.
well, it's nice though that they take
Yeah.
the pizza box too, that you can't recycle.
Right.
Like, it's,
Yep.
which is kind of-
It's a contaminant.
But
Oh,
not
so-
not for
Oh,
compost.
pizza boxes, I don't forgot.
Yeah, because
that's
cardboard
carbon.
generates heat, that's why, because they use it in their compost. It actually breaks the compost down faster. I know.
You're a wealth of knowledge over there.
Well, I've been looking after Black Earth for a long time, and I was like, why the heck?
What
guys
do you
take
do
cardboard?
actually for the town besides this?
Nothing, this is it. This is all I do.
Seriously?
Friday.
the,
He goes to
highway
one meeting a
superintendent.
month.
You're the Miss
That-
Oh,
Mona
all
Lisa.
right, all right.
You're the Miss
I didn't
Mona Lisa
realize-
Vito of
I didn't realize you
composting.
didn't know who was playing
But
Carol.
But Black Earth is
Not-
another,
we have
they are a great company, I've been
Yeah,
trying to
I'm
work
sure
with
that-
them, I've been trying
How
to
much do you
pull
charge?
in resources to find.
What is the
Now-
conservation committee that blocks us from doing it over there?
Nope,
Yeah.
nope, we haven't gotten
So I
that
always
far
get
yet,
some
so
every
we've
spring.
gotten,
Here it is.
Put a wish
I
This
mean,
Not
I'm a
yet.
little concerned about
Tell
runoff
me
for the
if
aquifer and stuff
that
like
was
that.
something that was
Because
talked
we've had a
about.
lot of problems with our water in this town
And
in
it's-
45
it's
years
not-
I've been
don't
here.
Put
think
my
that they were
tablet
super
now.
concerned about it, because even though we're right on the edge of the aquifer, I don't think
We do
even
it, do
taking
your
another
magic.
Once you look at
half
that,
acre,
I
acre of land where
I
we
know.
are.
What runoff is
Getting
gonna
all the
be
data.
Okay.
generated by the
Motion
rest?
to adjourn,
It's the
let's,
food.
let's
I'll
wrap.
second that.
Okay.
What time?
It's the
And
food
all in
runoff
favor?
that they're worried about.
Aye.
We adjourned at 6:45.
It's the
Did we
food
ever call
runoff
the
that
meeting
they're
to order? Did
worried
you?
about.
I sort of did, I said, yep, we're starting.
Okay.